Well, thank you, and thank you so much for this initiative. I think it's very important, as you said in the beginning, and I mean, taking coordinated steps and acting together is so important, because that is also what our opponents are doing. As you talked about, I mean, the Heritage Foundation, it's a very difficult word, they are acting very actively within the US, but also outside of the US. We actually went there with our committee 1 year ago before the election, and they told us about their Project 2025. And we also talked a lot about their view on the authorities and the state and who was working within the state, that everyone is Democrats, that the Democrats has been so good at making sure that they have people inside the authorities so that they can always be in control. And I mean, that was the conversation there, but what was scary for us was that they were my colleagues from the other parties, the moderates in Sweden, the Sweden Democrats, of course, they shared the view. And they said that it's the same in Sweden. Everyone working at the Foreign Affairs Department is Social Democrats. And that is their view. And that is also a way to make sure that they can always question the facts. Because it's not facts. It's Social Democrats trying to have their own agenda. And that is something that I find very terrifying. It was also quite interesting because they had 2 examples of their book. I think it's about like 900 pages. And I can assure you that the Sweden Democrats made sure to bring it back home to Sweden. And we also see that, which many of you has already mentioned, that they are really using this to make it a question for or against Israel, for or against Jews. And this is also something which has made it so much more difficult for us to have the debate and to have it in a good way. I also agree with you, Erkki, with what we hear from the Global South. I mean, that's of course is something that we also hear when we travel. Why do you only care about the rules when it affects you, when it's your security? What about Iraq? What about Palestine? What about, and they bring a lot of examples. Because we really do see that we now are in a very serious situation with rules-based orders. I mean, also the ICC, the sanctions against the ICC, the EU can act. I mean, we have the blocking statute. Even actually our own government says that they are for using that statute, but nothing happens. So I think also something that is so important for us is also cooperating when it comes to information, because the power of information. I mean, our friends in Norway, they are fantastic in many ways, but they have one flaw, and that is that they are not a member of the European Union. So they are not a part of those meetings. And for us, I mean, it's quite clear that the government tells us what they want to tell us. They have to come to the parliament before going to the meetings within the EU, but and they give us this text, what they're going to say, what's the Swedish standpoint for the meeting, and they always change it also verbally. But when you read what's been said, what's been discussed, it's kind of something else. So we always know that this is just what they want us to talk about, but what they're actually talking about is quite often something else. So I think also the power of information and to share that information with each other and to take initiatives at the same time in different countries, that would be something that also could actually make a difference.